Hey guys, Marshmallow Trump here, back with another video, and today I'm just going to be going through a few things that I think are going to be in the Speed Duel Midterm Paradox box, mainly because there has been an announcement that there will be an event for this box, and you can win the Elemental Hero Tempest playmat. So first of all, the Midterm Paradox seems to be based on the duel between Cyrus and Jaden versus the Paradox brothers. Now within this duel, you obviously see the Gyroid deck from Cyrus, a slightly different Elemental Hero deck from Jaden, and the Gate Guardian from the Paradox brothers, which is a sort of joint deck based on the Labyrinth deck they used in the first show. Not only this, but we seem to have a Water Dragon deck coming in this set, so it seems as if it's based between a space of like 3 to 4 episodes of the show, in which Bastion also uses Water Dragons to fight Chaz with his Chthonian deck. So maybe, usually with Speed Duels we get like a little pile of extra cards, so maybe we could be seeing the Chthonian cards in there, which would be really, really cool. Of course, there's a potential for some really nice reprints in here, maybe things that are usable in sets upcoming, so maybe we can see something like Amazoness Swordswoman reprint, since we're getting a Tanya deck in the Shadow Duelists box set releasing next year. So first of all, one of the notable cards we see is Gyroid. Gyroid isn't too fancy or anything, and he has been in the GX box, Duel Academy box, I believe. However, this would be a great reprint, and I think in an actual Roid deck, it works more to its element, and it's a super great stall card, as it can survive being attacked once per turn every turn. It can also go into some fusions, and again, Viacroys do struggle to have sort of a board presence, so something like Gyroid is often their best option to staying around. The Paradox brothers then respond later in the duel by using Girai Gumo, which is a very, very strong card, which would be really neat to see in Speed Duels. This is a level 4 with 2200 attack, but has all sorts of restrictions, meaning that you can just really screw over your turn if you're not careful, but it's worth the payoff because you're getting a level 4 with 2200. The reason I wanted to bring this up is because it's such a strong beta insect monster that maybe we could see it as a one-of, or maybe a 3-of, but probably only a 1-of, in a deck such as Moth. Moth being probably the most used and most successful deck in tournaments right now. Something they sometimes lack is an early game beta. Could Girai Gumo be the one? Maybe even if not as a beta, they could just summon Girai Gumo, because what Girai Gumo can do is you can just summon it, leave it there as a 22 wall. Maybe that's something Moth could look into, another insect monster. Will it be in there for sure? I don't know, it might not even be in that deck at all, it might not be good for the deck, but I think it's quite interesting and it could be a really, really cool tech option. We then see Kaiser Seahorse. Kaiser Seahorse, what it does is it counts as 2 tributes towards the tribute summon of a light monster. Now, there's other cards that are similar, such as Light Effigy, and I think in one of the earlier sets we got Tribute Doll also. And what this is making me think of is, if you aren't aware, in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links there was a Legacy Duel event in which we got a loner deck for the Paradox brothers, in which it was a Kaiserjin deck, I think it's Kaiserjin. It's one of the 3, it's the light one, and it runs Light Effigy, Kaiser Seahorse, and Tribute Doll in order to get this super strong monster out, because what Kaiserjin does, I'm just going to say Kaiserjin, I'm sorry if I'm saying the wrong one. What it does is it's a 2600, and whilst that card's on the field, if something attacks it, its attack becomes 0. So this is just a really sticky card, and Kaiser Seahorse is probably the best way to bring it out, as it counts as 2 tributes. It's a really solid card itself, it's got a 1700 stat line. Also, it's not the same attribute, which kind of helps it be a bit more tricky for various floodgates that could come out in the future. And I'm just really happy to see such a strong card. Obviously as well, this can be used in things like Blue Eyes, but obviously, we're looking at midterm Paradox today, so I'm going to be looking at the things more like Kaiser Jin, as that's going to be in the box. We then do see Tribute Doll being used in the episode, meaning that it is somewhat an iconic card for the Paradox Brothers. So, could we see a reprint or just a first print? And I'm not quite sure if we've got this already. I suspect we will. It's a very good card. The 3 pieces of the Gate Guardian do need to be tributed, to be honest, as of now. Will there be a skill to get them out easier? I'm not so sure, but Tribute Doll is a great way. It does stop it from attacking the turn it's out. However, it can still have the effect of zeroing your opponent's monster if they attack into it. Such a great card, and I'm quite happy if we get this. So obviously we get the we get the Gate Guardian, all 3 pieces. There we go. If you can't tell, I've just taken pictures from the show, so sorry if they're not the greatest. We then see this card, which is, I think it's a Thistle Designator, is it called? Which is a sort of search draw card. Not much to say here, just anything that gets you cards that you want in your deck is usually good. Is it better than a Law of Darkness? Probably not. Is it interesting? Yes. If we get it, will it be used? Potentially. Not much else to say, really. We then see Steamrod. Steamrod is probably the best attack power for a main deck Roid monster. It is an 1800 beta that when attacking, I think it gains 400, putting it up to 22, same of Girai Gumo. And when it's being attacked, it loses the same amount. It might be 500, but I believe it's 400. Regardless, this puts it up above pretty much every level 4 in the game, in terms of attack or defense, and obviously the payoff is that it can get taken out by most in the game, because with the attack boost it can take out anything like a breaker with a token, or a Kaiser Seahorse, or anything of the sort. It also kind of makes it on par somewhat to Ally of Justice Clauselus, which is used in Spellproof Armor. But when it's being attacked, anything can kill it, such as a DD Warrior Lady, and again the Breaker without a token even. So be careful with this one, but I think we can see it. And there's another reason I picked this card out, which you'll see in a second, which is Cyrus actually does use Polymerization, I believe, to bring out Steam Gyroid. So probably we'll be getting a couple more copies of Polymerization. Sweet. If you don't have them, very great. But Steam Gyroid is the fusion of you've guessed it, Steamrod and Gyroid. Very good card for the deck if we have good skill to go along with it. Basically, it has no effect, it's just a big beta. But it's kind of interesting. I assume it'll be the boss monster, unless we get Super Gyroid Jumbo Drill. But that wasn't in these episodes, and I can see them bringing that out later. So I wouldn't be surprised if Steam Gyroid is the Gyroid boss monster for now. We then see Monster Reborn being used. Will it get added? I'm not so sure. They have added a temporary ban list for an event, and I imagine if that goes well, they could quite easily bring in Monster Reborn, but like limit it to 1. Is that something they could do comfortably? Yes. Would it ruin the game? I don't think so. I think it'd be balanced. Obviously, yeah, we get the other Gate Guardian pieces. All 3 of them. We see Burst Tricks too, so maybe Burst Tricks reprint. And then there we go, we get Gate Guardian. Something I will say is in Duel Links, I'm not sure if they'll bring it in because it's kind of hard to incorporate into the physical card game, but there's a skill called Elements Unite, where you start the duel with 500 life points but have Gate Guardian on the field already. Is it that good? Not really, but I really hope they add it because it's such a funny skill and such a weird deck idea that I think it'd be really cool. Then we get a picture of Jaden's hand, so we get to see some cards. We've got Clayman, Sparkman, Avion, sure. Skyscraper, which is a great card for this era of heroes. It's pretty much the backbone of the deck. And we also see Rampart Blaster, which in the normal TCG or whatever may not, I was going to say spark, that would have been a terrible pun. It might not grab your attention, but it's actually a really solid card. It can change battle positions of multiple monsters, and it's just another thing that we can have to interfere with our opponent on top of Book of Moon and Windstorm of Attackler. Will it overtake them? Probably not, but could it be used on top of them? Definitely. Maybe only at 1 or 2, but I think it's really good regardless. It might overtake things like Security Orb or Windstorm of Attackler in hero decks just because of the versatility of it more, but obviously people won't be adding Sparkman into their decks just for Spark Blaster. Or maybe they will, I don't know, but I doubt it. Then we see Rampart Blaster hit the field. I think we got this in GX Duel Academy, but maybe we get it again. And then Gate Guardian. Then we see Fairy Meteor Crush, a very underwhelming at first sight card, but a great equip spell nonetheless. What this does is it boosts a monster by 300 attack and it gains piercing battle damage. Sure, that's great, put it on whatever. But if this card removes the field, the monster equipped to it gets banished. So could we be seeing this combined with things like, I don't know, Cosmic Cyclone or whatever? Just any form of spell and trap removal? I think it's quite plausible. This could get us around a lot of big monsters like Jinzo, like Moth, like Cyber Dragon even. It just has a lot of potential, I imagine. Then we actually see Mystical Space Typhoon. Now, if they add this, I think this will be a Speed Duel staple, as it doesn't have any form of cost, and it doesn't have any form of restrictions. Night Beam has to be face down, Cosmic Cyclone you have to pay 1,000. Mystical Space Typhoon in these earlier formats are typically better than the other ones because sure, the effect of banishing the card is better for Cosmic Cyclone's case, but it doesn't really matter in a format like this. If we Mystical Space Typhoon it for no cost, that is typically better. And obviously if you partner that with Fairy Meteor Crush, that's going to be a devastating combo to get around anything like a Gate Guardian, or any of the 3 pieces for it. We then see Judgment of Anubis, which is a counter trap. It's just kind of neat. I think it'd be a great addition to Speed Duel. And then we see this thing, which I've never even seen before, to be honest, outside of the show. Like Labyrinth Wall, but not Labyrinth Wall. It has like an effect. I think it's called Labyrinth Defender. If it's not a real card, I doubt we'll be getting it, but this could be a way for a few new cards to be in Speed Duel, and maybe Speed Duel only. I doubt it, but it's a possibility. We then see Psychroid. Psychroid is in the Duel Academy box, but we could be getting it again. Or they might just bring in something like Pair Psychroid. Pair Psychroid doesn't actually need Psychroid, so that's a great way for them to add it into this box and not reprint Psychroid. Something I will say as well, you do get UFOroid and UFOroid Fighter alongside Elemental Hero Tempest. That is how Jade and Cyrus win this duel, and the mat that we get for this event for the box is Elemental Hero Tempest. So I imagine that we'll definitely get in UFOroid Fighter, UFOroid, and Elemental Hero Tempest too, as they're pretty much just must-haves. That's all I have to say for today's topic. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I pointed out some things that you may not have thought about being in the box previously, and let me know if you think any of these cards are going to be game-breaking for Speed Duel, or if there's something that you're just excited to try out personally. In my opinion, I'd really like to try out Gyroids, mainly because it's my favourite deck of all time. Just sadly, they have such a low power ceiling that it's pretty hard to run in any form of competitive capacity. So if we get a good skill card, or if I'm just able to run it well in Speed Duels, I'm going to really, really enjoy playing Gyroids. I hope to see cards like Express Roid and Ambulance Rescue Roid, because if we see those, then we can get some pretty crazy combos to flood the field. But I'd be happy with just Steam Gyroid, honestly. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.